Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going on a trail ride with Chief. I'm actually doing quite a few others on the trail today as well, but I figured it would be a good time to kind of catch up and talk about some stuff. Obviously, some changes going on as far as we're not moving the barn. I've been a little bit absent on YouTube and Instagram the last week just because there's a lot going on in the world, especially in the United States, but all over the world. And I thought that those messages really needed to be heard. So I kind of just took a little break. I am back now, but there are some little updates that I figured would probably, again, be good to talk about. So first off is the stallion. Some of you have noticed that I pulled the video. I put it unlisted. I'm not really going to go into detail about what happened, but unfortunately, he's sound and stuff, but having my vet further assess him, he doesn't think he's a good candidate for basically upper level stuff for various reasons, but he did have an injury on the track that won't necessarily limit him, but it's just too big of a risk for me to want to take, especially with the hand that I've kind of been dealt and just how horses work is, with Zin's eye and him already kind of being behind the 8 ball with that, and then like D being, D. I don't want to have another one that I'm worried about not being sound or not being able to make it and then just having another horse. The whole reason for me to have a stallion again is for me to develop up the levels and have something to potentially breed. And if he's not going to be able to hold up to bigger fences, even if there's potential for that, it's just not something I'm willing to risk. Every horse has the potential for injury, but me personally, just because of the other horses that I do have, I don't want to go like starting out, getting into it with kind of like the deck half full, if that makes sense. Like, I want to feel like it's a good solid prospect, and if something happens along the way, then it does. Anyway, with that being said, again, he could go on and be perfectly fine, and this would never be an issue for him. It's just not something I'm willing to take the risk on due to me having 2 of my 4 or 5, I guess, including the stallion, other horses that already have something that potentially limits them. So personal decision. It's really a shame because I think he's a fantastic horse. He really is like an absolute dream horse to me. And going into this, because he's currently sound, I didn't know that he had this. I don't think that the seller knew this either. But, my vet kind of found it out after giving him the once over. There were also kind of some other little things that I was settling for, just in his confirmation and stuff that, once looking at everything else, you're kind of just like, well, it all adds up. So, he's going to be a fantastic jumping horse for someone. I think he's probably better gelded. And for that reason, I think he's better to go back to the person who sold him to me and find him a fantastic home with someone who wants to do 3 or 4 feet with him. Come on, Chiefy. I know, we're turning around. Want to turn around, but it's time to go back. So, also, beautiful sunflower in the middle of the trail here. Love it. Chief, can you walk? Thank you. Shout out to a horse that is the opposite of barn sour, would prefer to keep going on the trail instead of go back. So that's kind of just an update on the stallion. I'll probably end up putting his video back up with a little edit that says like, no longer have this horse, and like check out his update or, something like that. But for now, I need to get this guy his trot and canter sets on the trail as this giant truck comes by. This is the front of our property, so that's why. Not our, Willow Creek's, but whatever. This is the front of Willow Creek's property, so it is along the road. in the creek. But yeah, I'm gonna do some trot and canter sets, so I will come with my next update, maybe on the next horse or when I'm done with Chief. I don't know. So yeah. Chop, chop, chop. Boy. Where is my GoPro when I need it? Work your booty, Chiefy. Heidi. Chop, chop. Woohoo! And ho. Good boy. Walk. Hello, pasture horses. Good job, Mr. Chief. Also, rip cross-country jump. Like a pedal jumper. Baby tadpole jump. I guess I'll go out the back way too. I have a lot of horses to do today, but I'm doing them pretty much all on trail, so we'll see how that goes. Also, since I'm continuing to trail, God, he's so lazy. It is really hot today. It's supposed to be like 93 degrees. I have no idea what that is in Celsius, but probably high 20s or something. I have no idea. Another update is we are going to be doing the lower arena the next 2 weeks or so. So maybe I'll walk down there later with one of the other horses to show you guys, but we're in the process currently, where the barn is, and stripping all of the sand. So the skip loader and dump trucks and stuff are down there completely stripping everything to re-level and rebase and resand. So that means I am stuck to this arena, which looks a lot bigger than it is in this video. It's probably 80 by 140 would be my guess. And the covered arena, which Zin has a vendetta out against, so I'm not even sure what the heck I'm gonna do with him. I'll probably bring him up here. The footing's a smidgen deep up here though, so we will see. Yeah, but I'll be doing a lot of trail and hill work and stuff like that, which I have no problem with, because it is actually way more fun and a little less focused and stressed. And I think that to some extent, anything that you need to get done in the flat work, you can get done on the trail too. So yeah, that's kind of the plan for the next couple weeks here, and then we'll have our ring back. But I think we're going to be showing before the arena's actually done, so should be interesting. Okay, can you canter? Come on, Chiefy. You're doing it. Good job. Okay, that was short-lived. Ooh. Good boy. Ooh. Good. Ooh. Good. Ooh. Boy. All right. Excellent. Excellent. 10 out of 10. Also, something I should probably talk about, which is a bummer, but I understand, is Chief will be leaving us at the end of the month. I kind of foresaw it coming. His owner lives an hour and a half away, and she used to own Griffin. And Griffin needs a program, you know. He really isn't one that you can just like show up and ride on the weekends, or like ride once a week or skip a weekend or whatever. Hi, Troy. So that's why she ended up coming here. And now that I own Griffin, it's kind of hard because we found her a horse that is literally perfect. Chief is an absolute saint. He's 5 years old and he's lazy as all heck, and just a really quality young horse. And he doesn't really need the same amount of brain stimulation. Out of breath. He is like a 3-day-a-week horse. He's the kind of horse you could show up and ride on just Saturday. But I know she wants him in a few days a week so that we can kind of like get him going. But with that is, it's not really feasible for her to get out here more than just on the weekends. And she just wants to be able to come out and ride him more than just on the weekends, or not, you know, because things are going on the weekends for everyone. And I understand that. It's hard when you live that far away to be able to come to the barn without making a whole day out of it. So, you know, when I took over on Griffin and I found her a horse, I knew it was coming, just because she doesn't necessarily need me for him, because she wants to do trail and she wants to hunt him and like go to the beach and that kind of stuff. And we have trail here. We have 109 acres, but it's not enough. You know, if that's what you want to do, it's not enough. So that's kind of unfortunate. I really love the horse. He's really easy. He's one I look forward to riding because he's simple, you know? It's not like, oh, I got to worry about the fact that he doesn't have a left eye, or that he's high strung, or that, I don't know. So it's kind of a bummer that he's leaving. But again, I completely understand. And it is what it is. That being said, I do have one training spot that'll be coming available July 1st. I do have someone else coming in, so we'll probably do a meet and greet video of them. Is that what you call it? Or an introduction video. Not a meet and greet. That's where you meet people. Good job, Zoe. So they come in the middle of June, and then I'll have one spot available July. We are listing Jameson finally, so I may have 2 spots available in training, which I haven't advertised that yet just because of the whole coronavirus and the amount of time that Zin is kind of taking up for me right now. Anyway, enough with my rambling. On to Remington. So just a little more food for thought today. I think more often than not, people ride the horse based on the x-rays, not the soundness. So if you're looking for a resale horse, it's very important to have a sound horse that, you know, can pass the vet check flying colors. But the sad part about that is most of the people that are looking to buy a horse aren't necessarily looking for something that needs perfect x-rays. It's one thing if you're going Grand Prix, it's one thing if you are an eventer, something like that. But a lot of times I find with resales, you know, a horse that might have had like an old bowed tendon, or an old sesamoid injury, or I don't know, an old splint. That's not really as big of a deal. Or an ocelot. If you don't know what these things are, I will link some articles down below about racetrack injuries. But they'll have an old injury, something very minor. Here we go, Remington. Something very minor that otherwise will never affect them again. And people will pass on them due to it. And again, if you're looking for a horse that's Grand Prix level, yeah, of course, that's probably not something that you want to partake in. But if you're looking for a trail horse or a 2-foot horse, 2'6", 3 feet, something AMI friendly, lower level, or even mid-level, most of the time that stuff will never be an issue as long as it's rehabbed right. So it's sad to see when people will pass on a really nice horse that fits the bill, but because it had something old that it's now sound on, they'll never take a chance on it. It's kind of like Roman's leg. So I'll go into detail more on a story about Roman's leg, but he had a broken bone and they repaired it with you know, screws and plates and stuff. But after it was all healed, the vet actually said that leg would be stronger than the other leg because of the hardware and how much fusion and ossification had happened in that area. I don't know, just food for thought. More rambling Wednesday, I guess. Maybe instead of seeing my face the whole time, you guys can look at Remington as I babble along. Good boy. Hard work, huh? Good boy. Keep going. Good. Trot. You trot. Good. Good boy, Ram. How sweaty gray horses are. It's so funny to me. Oh well. On to Griffin. Do the same ones. I'm gonna do this one to the front, and then I'm gonna do the one I just did with Remington. Little hill work. Yep. He really wants to sniff all the poop. Like walking through a minefield. Come on, good boy. So I'd like to take a minute to appreciate this horse. When he came in, he was probably one of the spookiest, most barn sour horses I have ever come across. He was scared of the mounting block. Once you got on, he was scared of the ground, where he would look straight in between his legs and kind of like quiver and back up. Very scared of shadows. Wouldn't get anywhere near a pole, not even within like 3 to 5 feet of it. The first time I asked him to walk over a pole on the ground, it took me about 5 minutes to get him over, and then under saddle probably a good 2 or 3 minutes. And he's just come so far. I mean, consistent work, but also he just needed someone to show him that there wasn't really anything to be scared of, you know, just kind of that persistent, like, no, I want you to do this, please do this, please do this, please do this, until he did it, and then he realized that there was nothing wrong with it. And just kind of having that firm but reassuring hand has done so much good for him. One of the reasons his owner actually decided not to go forward with him is, well, one, because he's definitely a higher caliber horse, and she didn't want something that necessarily was going to be like a 4-foot show horse. She wanted something more like trail and fun and mellow, and that doesn't require so much work as far as like schedule goes. But also is because he was really terrible on trail. He would never go out alone. As soon as you were anywhere away from like the site of the barn, he would lose it, just completely panic. And he's just doing really well. Like, it's been a lot of consistency and a lot of persistence. Renee's been helping him a lot. And as you can see, like, he's not barn sour at all. He's come a long way. Ow! He came in September. I took ownership end of April. And he's been getting better all year. He's still never going to be one that, I shouldn't say never. He's still not one that I think would be like one you could kick out in pasture and ride when you want. Like, he really does well with a schedule, but just his whole demeanor, he's grown up so much, and just having some like confidence and consistency with him, he's just come so far. I'm super pleased with him. It's hard for me to want to sell this guy. I'm kind of battling it right now. I put it on my highlights that he was for sale, but I haven't publicly listed him anywhere else yet because I really like him. He's not my typical kind of ride. He's very like stick to the 12-foot stride, a little bit of a, I don't want to say heavier, but more full contact is where D is so fragile. He's a little bit more like Troy, but bigger. It's also hard because I think he would be really, really killer in the equitation ring. And it's a little bit selfish of me to keep him as, oh, watch out for the rocks. Oh God. It's selfish of me to keep him as a jumper when he has potential for so much more. But more than anything is even if he doesn't go to a show home or a jumper home, I just want him to have a really quality home. Where he's going to get a lot of attention and, if possible, a forever home, because I think he's just a really sweet horse. I've never seen him pin his ears. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed, but he's kind of like a golden retriever. Like, he's just happy to see you all the time. He always nickers to you. He loves food. Just really sweet, really innocent and sweet. So, yeah, I want to find him a really quality home. We're going to see if I can actually get Griffin to canter. Might need a running start. All right, chop. Good. But can you canter is the real question. Good. Good boy. Okay, technical difficulties, sorry. Come on. There you go. Come on. Oh, God. That's how I can tell your butt is weak. You can trot. That's fine. Good boy. Yay, Griffy. Trotting. Good boy. He's tired. He says, I would like to walk now. You can trot a little further. Ooh, you want to walk? Okay. You're a lazy dude. Almost fell on your neck. I suck at riding. Sorry. This way. Come on. Walk on. Griffin says the climb is not worth it anymore. Are you tired? Okay. I know. It's good for your bum though. Your butt could use some work. Nice to have horses that I can actually trail ride, since D just doesn't. Period. It's just not his thing. He gets way too excited. Doesn't matter how many times I go out on trail with him, hand walking or just trail riding, period. He ain't a trail horse. He loses it. And it's my own fault because at Cañada Larga, good boy. I used to, canter him a lot on trail to build up his fitness when he came out of pasture. I would do like a lot of trotting on trail up little hills and then walk, and then I would canter. And he got really used to having like a job to do out on trails. So now he like can't walk. And he's been like this for a few years, where he'll be walking along and he just explodes. Like, no, you don't have to trot up all the hills. I really appreciate the effort, but no. Oh, good boy. So he'll just be walking along and just crow hop and start spinning. And he's dumped me a few times on the trails. I haven't taken him out on the trail in a couple years because I really don't see a point to it, especially with like the little injuries and soundness stuff that he's had. It's just, he looks at something wrong and gets hurt. So he just really loves his job. He thrives in arena work. He gets a lot of turnout, and I have other horses that love the trail, and D is just not one of them. So, oh well. Thank goodness for this breeze. It is getting hot. I don't know if I'll be able to do Jameson today out here because it is warm, like really warm. Griffin thinks every hill is a trot now. No, Griffy. Here comes a squirrel. Wow. We'll see. I might have to end up riding him in the covered arena because just like people, I worry about them getting overheated. The humidity today. No, Griffy, this way. Thank you. Good boy. Walk slow. Ooh. Ooh. Good. Ooh. Good. Good boy. I worry about them getting overheated. A general rule of thumb for heat, I believe it's either 120 or 150. So I guess I shouldn't even be advising because I don't know. But you're supposed to take the temperature in Fahrenheit plus the humidity, the percentage of humidity. And if it's over, I don't remember if it's 120 or 150, then you shouldn't ride. And today it's 93 and we're at 28, gosh, I don't remember, 28% humidity, I think is what it said. So I was kind of thinking, I was like, well, shoot, if it's the 120 mark, then I shouldn't be really riding. So it's like 10 o'clock right now, and it's already deathly hot. Shipped the stallion out this morning, which was very sad, but, wow, pick your feet. I got a bit of an early start, so I think the rest of them I might put in the covered arena because it's watered in there. It's like 10 degrees cooler, and just do light works. Yeah. And that is all she wrote. Huh, Griff? Boy. You want to be a cutting horse? You can sort if you want. Come on, CJ. Good boy. Hello, Lola. Don't be so angry. It's rude. Okay, Griffy. So I lied. It's actually 10:30. I did want to do Jameson, like I said, but I think I'm going to ride him in the covered and ride Troy in the covered. And then round pins in, ride D, and flat Kimber. That's all I have to do today. So I'm going to get to it. Thanks for coming along. I hope this answered some of your guys' questions because I've been getting a lot of questions about, you know, what's going on as far as horses and the stallion and the barn and everything else. So hopefully this answered some of your guys' questions, and I will see you all in my next video.